Receiving your first communion, come forward this time and should come up and gather around Father this morning. Well, children, let's listen to the gospel of today and let's live it out. Okay, the disciples decided to go fishing, so we're going to go fishing. Okay, there's a lot of you, so we need 2 boats. I see Tia Grathwell is back there, so Tia, you'll be the captain of boat number 2, okay? All right, we got a lot of people, so we need 2 boats. Father leads, Tia comes behind. All right? So with that in mind, if we're going to go fishing and we're going to catch some fish, what do we have to take with us? We need fishing rods. What else do we need? We need bait. What kind of bait? Minnows, leeches, night crawlers, worms. You got it. All right? We need a bucket. What do we need the bucket for? For the fish that we catch, right? What else do we need? We need hooks. What if you get a big fish on? What's the thing that you need? Somebody said it over here. We need a net, don't we? What else? We're going to need the fishing rod. We got that. It goes beep, huh, when it's real close. We should probably have a camera in case we get a big one, right? We need a camera. Hey, here's another thing to think of. We're going to fish all night, though. So we got to take something to eat, don't we? So what are we going to pack? Food. What kind of food? We need bread. What else? Say some things. Pizza. We're going to deliver right on the water. Tia, that's your job. You're going to go back and get the pizza. Peanut butter, cake. You guys haven't fished much, some of you. Got to have a sandwich. What else? We got to have some drinks. All right? Blueberries? Fish sandwich. We're going to catch something, aren't we? All right. We got the idea here, kids. But the gospel of today is this. They fish all night, and what do they catch? What did they catch? Nothing. That's the story. They fish all night. Imagine if we went out, we fished all night, we caught nothing. Here's the problem. You get bored. So when you get bored, what do you start doing? You start eating about 9 or 10 o'clock. And before you know it, you're out of food. And so you're going, Father, I need something to eat. Tia, I need something to eat. I say, sorry, you ate your food. So come morning, you're hungry. You're hungry. So what do we feed on? We're going to come back to that. All right? Come back to that. Kids, up to this point in your life, you've already received 2 sacraments. What 2 are they? What 2 are they? Give me one. Reconciliation, what's the other one? First Eucharist, we're going to do that one today. You received another one prior to those. So, Briar? That's right, Briar. Very good. And remember, in baptism, we became a part of this community. Our original sin was taken away. But then we bumped into this. We got old enough to make a choice. And sometimes they're good, most of the time. Sometimes they're not so good. So God said we got to do something about these sins that aren't good, our bad choices. And He gave us reconciliation. Now let's be clear about this. Eva, you're fishing. All right, you're out in the boat, and Father Schuster gives you a musky lure that's worth about $25. Okay? And I ask you, Eva, are you sure you have it clipped on? And you say, yeah. So you go back and you heave it, and all of a sudden, there goes my musky lure, and it keeps going and going and going and going. And we realize, it wasn't clipped on. And you thought it was. Is that a sin or is that an accident? It's an accident. Did you mean to do it? No. Here's another one, though, Eva. Let's pretend you're so frustrated at night that you do have that plug clipped on, but you get so mad at the middle of the night that you take my rod, reel, and the lure and you throw it in the water. That's a sin, isn't it? That's a sin, isn't it? Because you let your anger get the best of you. Well, God gave us a sacrament to forgive us, and that is, of course, reconciliation. But now to receive the third one, and that is which one? First communion. Kids, you made this stole for me, didn't you? What's on this stole? What did you put on here? Your grapes made by your what? Thumbprints. So look at all the thumbprints we have on here. 33 of you received First Communion today. 3 at Holy Family, 30 of you here. And we realize, kids, something very important. Look at all those thumbprints. Very important. When the body and blood, first of all, it is bread and wine. And do you realize that to make bread, we have to use many little grains of wheat? If we're going to make wine, what this helps us to realize is this. Does it take one grape to make a lot of wine or a lot of grapes? It takes a lot of grapes. If we're going to make the wine, it takes a lot of grapes, right? Well, the same is true about the church. What would the church be if there was only 1 or 2 of us in the church? It wouldn't be much, would it? So to see all of these fingerprints reminds us that many are coming into the church, and that's a good thing. We're all unique, but remember this, we make up this church, don't we? We make up the church. Did you hear the gospel of today at the end of it? Okay, they come ashore, they've caught nothing. And yet Jesus is there. And after they catch nothing, Jesus says, hey, lower the nets on the right side. And do they catch fish? A lot of them. And in the end, what do they eat today in the gospel? What did you hear them eat? What was it they ate? They ate, Riley? Fish and bread. Did it take many fish to feed them? Does it take many grains of wheat to make bread? Does it take many grapes to make wine? Does it take many of us to become a church? Are we all important? That's exactly right, kids. Now, at the end of the gospel today, Jesus asked this question of Peter, do you love me? So if I went around to each of you and said, do you love Jesus? What would you tell me? Do you? Then you know what he says? You got to follow me. You don't get to go and do what you want. You got to follow me. Now, how do we follow Jesus? How do we follow him? Don't sin. Listening. How well do you kids listen? Are you good at it? No. They all say yes. Well, debatable some days, but I hope for the most part. All right? What else? Be nice to your friends. Be nice to the people who aren't your friends too, Briley. That's Jesus. What else? Be nice to your brothers and sisters. Sometimes, you know what? That's great. They can be the hardest sometimes to be nice to, right? But we got to be nice to them too. Go to church. Be kind. Be kind. Sing when you're in church. Good. What's that? What do you do when you take a bath? Are you good or bad? Yeah, behave. Behave. Obey your parents. Those are all good things. So if I went around here and said, do you love Jesus? And you say yes, then you know what that means. It means you follow him. It doesn't mean you follow Father. It doesn't mean that you follow whatever you want when you want. You got to follow Jesus. And remember this. If Jesus is going to be a part of you now, right? You receive him, don't you? So if you receive him, where does he end up in here? Then you got to be about who it is that you receive. Okay? Are you ready for that? All right? All right, Tia, we've taught them well. It's time to come to shore. Let's launch. Head back to your pews. All right? And let's get ready later on at Mass today to receive the gift of your first Holy Communion.